Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And before I get started, in a lot of my videos, I like to jump from one thing to another because I want to bring you all of the news over the course of a couple of videos. And because I don't use a script, sometimes I forget to mention things that I wanted to mention. And I got to go back and clear some things up. And this is one of those things I meant to mention in that video from earlier today. So HSBC is rolling out cross-border tokenized deposits starting with an international. But they've already teamed up with Ripple-owned Medico. The dots are connecting fast. Everything is tying together. That's what I see happening right now. And Chris Larsen was on the board of HSBC. You know, you see Brad Garlinghouse. He's part of the World Economic Forum. Chris Larsen also has a lot of ties as well. He has ties to the IMF, HSBC. I'm sure there's other connections we don't even know about yet. But what I noticed over the last couple of weeks is it seems like pieces of the puzzle keep getting put in place. And those puzzle pieces are very big puzzle pieces. But I'm sure there's pieces that are even bigger. I'm sure there's things happening we don't even know about yet. Thailand's best performing asset is XRP, not Bitcoin, gold, or stocks. I'm telling you, they absolutely love XRP, not only in Thailand, South Korea, Japan. They're all very big on this cryptocurrency. And you could see it here. And it's not just a small margin. It's a very big margin. It's because I think they already know what's coming. You know, South Korea always seems to lead the way in a lot of things. Same thing with Japan. They always seem to be first movers, even ahead of the United States, on a lot of things. And I think XRP is one of those things. Mostly it's technology and advancement. Now it seems like it's cryptocurrency as well. 3 million RLUSD minted at RLUSD Treasury. You know, it's nonstop minting of RLUSD, and I think there's a lot of demand, and demand is really building for this stable coin. And Smoke makes some connections as well. So the CFTC to allow stablecoins as collateral in U.S. derivatives markets for the first time. I talked about that in a video earlier today, but I forgot to mention this post right here. Ripple plus Hidden Road, RLUSD integrated into the derivatives market. So their offerings include prime brokerage services in foreign exchange, precious metals, digital assets, and over-the-counter swaps across various asset classes, clearing solutions for derivatives. They're talking about that acquisition that Ripple made of Hidden Road. That was a strategic acquisition. That's also going to bring utility to XRP as well. In 2024, Ripple launched its Ripple USD stablecoin focused on institutions. The coin would use XRP to help add liquidity. You see how RLUSD and XRP work together. But that's why these acquisitions, when they're first talked about, people are like, well, it's not a big deal because the price of XRP isn't moving. This value is going to show up later. United Nations now. In this globalized, digitized world, we will work together and accelerate the global pact for the future. Everyone sees this as a global event because that is what it is. It's a massive industrial revolution that's happening right now. everything in the world is going digital. That's why you don't sell your XRP too soon. Because everything that gets digitized, everything that gets tokenized, has to move from one place to another. And the best way to move it is with a bridge currency like XRP. This comes from X Finance Bull. He says, I'm officially being mentioned in the news section of one of the biggest portfolio trackers, CoinStats. So they're covering his take on XRP being discussed in UK Parliament as critical global payments infrastructure. So here's the price of XRP if Parliament declares XRP for global payments. So they say the price can go between $5 to $10. I think that's very low if this was going to happen. But this is something that's going to happen anyway, because right now you see the UK and the US working together on cross-border payments, also on regulations as well. The reason why you have to have regulation talk when you're talking about cross-border payments is because if your regulations are very different from one another, cross-border payments will never work. But right now, it's too early to say how this would impact the price of XRP. You know, a lot of big things are about to happen over the coming months. We need to get something like a starting line before we could say this is how big the impact will be on the price. Until then, it's still just speculation. Expert explains XRP $943 price scenario, citing Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Why $943? Why not just $1,000? I don't get it. And they're talking about Ripple capturing 14% of Swift's business. Ripple is going to capture more than 15% or 14%. I think that's early on. And I think Brad came up with that number because he already sees the transition happening. He already knows who's on board with RippleNet and who's still on board with Swift. I'm sure they have a lot of those NDAs with a lot of these banks that are ready to make the transition away from Swift. Plus, a lot of countries are also pushing away from Swift as well. This is something that's going to happen. And it's going to start with ISO 222, the new messaging system. That's when I think we will start to see the transition of Ripple beginning to take over all of Swift's business. Bank Social is the only digital wallet built on Google's AI to AI infrastructure. AI agents that send payments instantly, stablecoins and crypto right next to your cards, all inside a single self-custody app. Imagine a world where your EV pays for its own charging. Your fridge restocks itself. Your AI assistant pays your bills in seconds. This is a glimpse of tomorrow. It's how life starts to change today with Bank Social. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I remember talking about AI paying other AI in IOTA videos a few years back. And back then, everybody was like, dude, this is going to take 10 years plus for anything to happen. Well, now you see here in 2025, the rise of AI is already coming. And you are going to see machines paying other machines. And you are going to have an AI assistant at some point. You're going to have an AI agent working for you 24 hours a day, getting you the most money out of your crypto while you're putting your crypto to work so you no longer have to go to work. But you see the transition already coming. It's here now, actually, because look at what Elon wants to do with all of those robots next year. He's saying next year is going to be very big. Amazon, they're already pushing towards more and more robots as well. But again, it's why you keep holding your crypto, so you get rich before the rise of AI. And Bitwise CIO Matt Hougan says Bitcoin on corporate balance sheets will double over the next year. They're pushing that Bitcoin up only narrative. Take a listen.
And joining us, Matt Hougan. He is CIO of Bitwise Asset Management. Matt, welcome. I'm going to quote Matt Hougan to Matt Hougan. There are now more than 180 public companies that have added Bitcoin to their balance sheet, according to BitcoinTreasuries.net. That sounds like a lot.
It's a down payment. I think that number is going up. You know, some of these companies are those so-called DATs, digital asset treasuries, that just buy Bitcoin for their balance sheet. Mackenzie is right that that momentum is somewhat fading. But on the other side of the balance sheet, you have a broader set of companies that, just like individuals, want to have 5 or 10% Bitcoin. Companies like Figma, companies like Block. I still think that corporate number is going to double over the next year or so. The amount of Bitcoin on the balance sheets are going to go up. And I think there's an even bigger story in ETFs, where the flows, from my perspective, are set to accelerate strongly into Q4. So I am still feeling bullish about this market. I take this pullback as an opportunity and not a setback.
I agree with him on buying the dip. What I don't agree with him in is where he says that all of these companies are going to start to buy more and more Bitcoin. What's going to happen when the price of Bitcoin starts to crash? Right away, everybody's going to be pushing away from Bitcoin, and that crash is going to happen. And they all know it's eventually going to come. The cycle is going to end, and we're going to see another bear market. The only thing I'm hopeful for is that utility-driven cryptocurrencies end up going into a full-blown utility run, where people are actually utilizing these tokens for their use case, and that use case and the demand for these cryptocurrencies will keep their price going even higher. But Bitcoin lacks utility. And even with regulations, they're trying to spin the narrative that regulations are bullish for Bitcoin. I don't see them bullish for Bitcoin when regulations are going to also set apart these cryptocurrencies. They're going to be like, okay, XRP, XLM, XDC, they're utility tokens. Bitcoin is speculation. So when institutions want to come into this space, they're not going to throw their money into speculation. They're going to throw it into something that actually solves a real world problem, that has actual value. So I think what they're doing here is this, and take notice, they even said the money's flowing away from Bitcoin. And even with the Bitcoin ETFs, the money's already shifting away from them. So where is it going to go? Well, XRP ETFs are going to come out next month. So right away, I think these institutions are already looking past Bitcoin. And I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of demand for an XRP ETF. I think people want something new. What happened was they gave Bitcoin, once again, first mover advantage. And when there's no other option, the money flows into that, because these people are eager to get into crypto. So it's like when Bitcoin ETF is your only option, that's where your money ends up. Then they came out with the ETH ETFs, and they gained a lot of traction as well. But now, beyond Bitcoin and ETH, something more is coming. You have an HBAR ETF. You have Solana ETFs. You have XRP ETFs. And you're going to see even more and more ETFs along the way. But I think you're going to see a lot of that money shift even more away from Bitcoin and into these other ETF options. And some of these companies are going to buy the actual asset as well. We already see XRP treasuries. More and more companies are going to go down that road because they could actually use XRP in their own business when they want to send money from point A to point B. What else is about to happen? The rise of tokenization. So as companies are tokenizing things, they're going to want to have a way to move those tokenized assets from point A to point B. What's the best option? A bridge currency like XRP. You know, everything eventually is going to flow towards utility and away from speculation. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.